Hello. So I'm going live. I haven't done much marketing, so if you start to tune in, start to answer some ask some questions in the chat box. I'll tell a few more people about it. It's quite an impromptu one, this one. I'm just currently updating our website. We've been, our old website has been getting a lot of spam with people signing up to the newsletter. So I'm rebranding our website. So there's going to be a newsletter soon, which you guys can sign up to or renew your registration, and I'll be able to inform you much easier when I'm doing these live chats. But my days are quite varied, so I feel like the best thing for me to do when it comes to doing live chats is to just do them impromptu, which means I'll probably do them at random times in the day, which is probably a good thing on one level, because it means that people can just see me chatting at various different times throughout the day, you know. So if I set a set time every week or every day or whatever, then people in Australia are probably not going to be able to see it ever. So, but anyway, a few people watching. As I say, this is really impromptu, so not many people know about this live chat. So if you're watching, ask some questions. Take the opportunity now. Hello, anyone around? Suppose it's bonfire night in England. Probably a lot of I sees you. Man, you're always watching these live chats, man. How's it going? Let's see if we can get some other people involved. I have a list of people I can send a message to. Seven people watching. We're getting more people, but not many people asking questions. Just saying hello. I'm good, thanks. Really good. Plodding along with life. New challenges, new amazing insights, new interests, new people. Every day is different. I quite enjoy it. It's an adventure. Life starts to become an adventure, the more. Alright, so we got our first question. Talk about supplement sensitivities. I get nauseous from Limcomin. So yeah, I'll go through the supplement recommendations that most people get one by one, because it's so important to understand your supplements, like incredibly important, and it's also important to realize that the supplements are powerful. They're really powerful. So sometimes taking a full dosage you know, it can be overwhelming for a lot of people. Also, you know, anyone that's just starting a program also need to understand that they are likely to be very sensitive to supplements when they first begin. And I was extremely sensitive to supplements when I first began the program, and it was quite, it was quite difficult, because one of the biggest problems is you take, you know, 8, 10, 12 supplements, and you get all these sensitivities, and you don't know which one's causing you the problems. It's really, really confusing. And I feel like it probably stops a lot of people from doing the program a lot of the time when they have sensitivities to various things, because they just don't. I've got no clue where it's come from. Also, another really important thing I need to mention about supplements is that they're designed to balance you out. They're designed to balance out your oxidation rate. So a lot of people, they just think that they can do the program and not get any retests. And you know, if you're a slow oxidizer, you're on a slow oxidizer supplement regime, which is designed to, in essence, speed up the body. If you speed yourself up and then you go past, you know, the ideal levels, you go further up, you go into fast oxidation. It can actually get really dangerous. It can get dangerous, like severely dangerous. Well, not severely, but it really can get like out of hand. I mean, a lot of people think that fast oxidation is going to be great. It's like, no, it really isn't. It's not a nice position to be in, fast oxidation. So that's important to understand as well. All right, so moving on to the supplements. I'm going to speak about each supplement actually, just to give you a good idea about the general sensitivities people have, from my experience and my experience with clients and stuff. So Megapan is a B-complex vitamin. Generally it's the one that turns your pee like fluorescent green. So, you know, don't worry about that happening. That's I often hear a lot of people email me saying, "Oh, my pee's turned green. What's happened?" It's just Megapan. So Megapan's a formula. It's basically designed to speed up the oxidation rate. So this is definitely one of the supplements that can be overstimulating for a lot of people. Now I know from experience, if I take a lot of Megapan and I start going past that ideal level into fast oxidation, you can get a really horrible feeling of like, it's as if like your body's trying to jump out of your skin. It's really horrible. You can't sleep very well. It's like it's a little bit like, you've seen Men in Black. You know, it's a little bit like Men in Black. The guy in the beginning when the space shuttle comes down, and you know, the guy's skin's peeling off. Like, it feels like that. It's really weird. But this is what happens when you have Megapan. You go to past the threshold. It's not good. Megapan's also really good for depression. You know, people are feeling down, take Megapan. Again, if you're in fast oxidation, it's not a good idea. Or in 4 lows, again, not a good idea. Thyrocomplex, I'm probably gonna have to go through these a bit quicker. Thyrocomplex is for the thyroid, so that also can be a stimulant for people. That can keep you up at night. Again, all of these that are stimulants, generally people are really sensitive in the beginning. So if you're really sensitive, just start off with like half or 1, or like I was so sensitive to Megapan, I just had to scrape a little bit onto my food, and you know, I had to build up doing that. Endodren's an adrenal supplement, so that's for the adrenal glands. Again, could be a stimulant. Stress pack is generally for fast oxidizers, to slow one down. A lot of fast oxidizers don't like to slow down, so they don't like stress pack because it slows them down. They're like, ah man, this is too much. You know, I'm slowing down too much. It kind of freaks them out. You know, I was once with a partner who was a fast oxidizer. He put on stress pack and he just started getting really anxious because he's slowing down a bit. SPF's the same, similar. Zinc can be very stimulative actually in the beginning, when a person first starts. A lot of people think that the biggest problem is low zinc, so they'll just take loads of zinc, and they don't realise that, one, it's not a wise thing to do, two, stimulatory. Limcomin also can stimulate a person. Pyramin's like the opposite. Pyramin's designed to kind of slow you down. It puts a lid on things, so when you're not sleeping too well, take some pyramin. When you're kind of going through detox reactions, it just kind of keeps a lid on things. But like, because pyramin slows you down, again, if you're in slow oxidation, and you don't want to be taking too much pyramin, because then like you slow down so much that you just get really sluggish and depressed, and everything just is like, yeah, it's really depressive actually if you do that. Trimethylglycine is kind of the detox, methylator, so that's really good at just getting out various toxins and whatnot. The biggest problem people have with TMG, I feel, is that it can remove like things really quick, so it can cause headaches, it can cause copper detox, and that can like freak people out, like having TMG and like releasing copper, for example. All of a sudden you might be a slow oxidizer, release like some toxic sodium, potassium, like you jump into fast oxidation, so you're in this kind of weird, oh my god, I'm detoxing all this stuff, at the same time my oxidation rate sped up. It can confuse you a lot. Renamide's for the kidneys. It's not really a stimulant, renamide. The thing I find with renamide is it can give you bad nightmares and bad dreams, so that's probably the biggest thing I noticed about that. It can also make the mouth dry a little bit. Selenium can be slightly stimulatory. Fish oil, not so much. I've never really heard any problems with that. Ender veggies, not really. GB3, not really. Sorry, I'm going through these a bit quicker now because I realise I'm probably waffling on. Kelp, definitely stimulatory, but really important to work your way up on that one. Vitamin D, I've not really heard any problems with that. Magnesium is obviously relaxant. ICMN is not part of it's a great supplement. I'm really disappointed that Endomet stopped doing it. ICMN is a supplement by Endomet. When people are going through some severe reactions, ICMN can be an absolute godsend. So anyway, I'm going to move back to the questions. So, hello Lewis, low sodium on 4 and 3. Low sodium on 4 and in 3 highs. How to aid with sodium raise. I'd need to see the hair analysis really to get a picture of what's going off. Can't really answer that question without seeing the hair analysis. What tea can I drink? I can't find it on Dr. Wilson's website. You can drink like some herbal teas. Don't have too many. The fruit ones aren't too bad. Stay away from peppermint tea because it's full of aluminium. Stay away from red bush. That's no good. That's full of nickel. But in general, like a bit of blackberry tea is alright. Chamomile tea. Let me think what others. Stay away from green tea. Yeah, let me see what tea. There's so many different herbal teas out there that you forget. There's loads of different weird combinations. But in general, you want to be staying away from the ones that got caffeine in. They're no good. And yeah, like I said, aluminium's terrible. Red bush, no good. Green tea, no good. But yeah, I mean, you can get ones, apple and blueberry. That's not going to be an issue. Like licorice, not too bad. It does stimulate the adrenal glands though. Generally, the fruit ones are pretty good. You got to be careful. A lot of herbs these days are a bit toxic, so you know, don't hit the teas too hard. But being a Yorkshire man from England, it's difficult for me to stay away from English teas sometimes. Even low doses of my supplements make me unimaginably miserable. Yeah, again, it depends on what program you've got, to be honest. You know, if you're on a 4 lows program, for example, and you're really stuck in 4 lows, and you know the idea of 4 lows is just to slow you down, put a lid on things, it can make you feel a bit depressed. It's just one of them things. You know, we can change things around a little bit to help you if you're feeling depressed. But yeah, sometimes, again, you know, it can make you feel bad if your program's changed. So you need to keep in contact with your practitioner for that sort of stuff. So, I'm interested in what exactly, which ingredient in limcomin am I reacting to? It's a difficult one. I think limcomin works as a combination. You know, it combines together to create an outcome. So it's hard to really isolate which ones. I mean, vitamin C, for example, will speed up an oxidation rate. You know, so can manganese and copper, but I don't think you can isolate things with, especially things like limcomin and things like megapan that have been specifically designed to do a certain job. You know, so it's probably not a wise idea to try and figure out exactly what's causing you the problem. It's probably the combination of things. I get really bad stomach issues and don't know how to fix it. Nothing works. How can I fix it? Again, you probably, you know, if you got bad stomach issues, a lot of the time it's from leaky gut. You know, it can take a long time to get them heavy metals out of the system, which when it's part of the stomach lining. You know, the nutritional balancing program is obviously designed to help with stomach issues, but you got to come at it at a whole angle. There's no way of me knowing exactly what the problem is. You know, it could be candida, it could be a parasite issue. You could be allergic to certain foods. You know, in general, the diet is very you know, nutrient dense. It's not very many things that people can potentially like have a reaction to. You know, doing coffee enemas is going to aid with removing metals from the digestive tract. GB3 is a powerful digestive aid that helps, you know, the digestion start working. A lot of people's digestive fluids, etc., are just not there very often. Shining a red heat lamp on the stomach can help with that. So, you know, when you say how to fix it, the idea is to try and do the nutritional balancing program as much as possible, because there's so many different factors involved with digestive issues that you've got to come at it at all angles, and that's what the program tries to do in general. Layla, so only take a quarter for a while after food. Yeah, just start off super tiny with the supplements, not a problem. My digestion is very weak. Even with the HCl capsules, I take around 30 minutes before every meal. Even cooked vegetables pass through undigested. Well, it was not going to pass through undigested if you chew it properly. A lot of people just wolf the food down the neck, and then they just turn around and say, "Oh, it came through undigested." I'm like, how can it come through undigested if you've chewed your food? You should be chewing your food at least 20 times when you're eating. I mean, you got serious digestive problems if the vegetables are coming through undigested. But you know, just chew more. if that's the problem. Is it okay to take limcomyn, kelp, TMG, taurine and D3 together? Well, I don't know what program you would be on where taurine is in that combination. So I would say, you know, probably not. Like, again, it depends on your programming. I don't know what your program is. You should have been given a supplement recommendation sheet. So you know, that's what you need to be working from. You know, understand that the supplements from analytical labs, so you get the 30-page booklet. There's supplement recommendations in there, but that's computer generated. We don't use them. You know, we use the supplement recommendations that Dr. Wilson does himself. So you get that from your practitioner. So you need to follow what's ever in there. I'll tell you from experience that the program is so incredibly precise. Again, that's why it's so important to do a retest every 3 months, because it's incredibly precise, the supplements. They're designed to do a certain job to get you more in balance. Interesting that you've been prescribed them. I'd like to see your test. Send it through to me, lewis@deephealingspace.com. That'd be cool. What is ICMN? So ICMN was I forgot what ingredients was in there. ICMN, Endomet. ICMN was a supplement by Endomet, but they stopped doing it. And it was a combination of, I'll tell you in a minute, inositol, choline, methionine, and niacinamide. And basically they're methylators for the liver. And I mean, when you're kicking out a lot of stuff, there's been times when ICMN's been an absolute godsend for me, because it's just so good at just like putting a lid on things when you're going through massive healing reactions. They kind of use it as a bit of a last resort, but you know, if you can find, if you type in ICMN on Google, there'll be a website with the ingredients. So here we are. Contains 200 milligrams. I don't know how you pronounce these. Inositol, 200 milligrams of choline, 200 milligrams of methionine, and 50 milligrams of niacinamide. If you can like combine them together, you'll make ICMN. And yeah, I mean, I was going through a really big healing reaction in Thailand, which lasted for like months, and you know, I was having ICMN, and it was like unbelievable how it just completely turned me from like super copper toxic to like I came down a little bit. But the thing is with ICMN, it puts a lid on things, so it kind of stops the detox process a little bit. So you know, that's why it's kind of used as a last resort. What magnesium do you recommend for depersonalization? Well, again, it's going to depend on your hair analysis, how much magnesium you'll be recommended. Generally, everyone gets recommended Paramin with their programs. Paramin's got magnesium in it. The magnesium is a amino acid chelate and dimagnesium malate. That's the one that we use in Paramin. But you know, it's not about what, you know, the magnesium's not going to fix depersonalization. You know, in many ways, magnesium just calms a person down. So the healing, derealization, depersonalization is a completely different subject that I have done a video, I've done a film on it, well, not like 1.5 hours. So if you type in Lewis Rowlands derealization deep dive, check that out. It's like a 1.5 hour long video talking about derealization, depersonalization in it, you've got to really come at this at all angles. It's not really taking magnesium, but as I say, the magnesium that we would recommend is in pyramine. So check out pyramine. How about elderberry and chamomile? Elderberry's alright, chamomile's good. Obviously chamomile's really good for sleep. You know, when I was going through various problems with my sleep and insomnia, I was having chamomile tea. So lemon verbena tea is lovely. I don't know whether I've ever tried it. Camilla, should I peel carrots before cooking? No. It's a simple answer. Generally, you want to leave the skin on with vegetables. The only skin I take off is onions, because you just can't chew it. But I can't think of another skin that I peel off apart from onions. Everything else I will keep on, even like even squashes. If I eat squash, I'll even keep it on. Give me 2 minutes, because I need the toilet. So I'll be back in a minute. Oh, back. Da, 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 da. Right, where were we? So yeah, I don't peel anything apart from onions. Thoughts on NAK that went from 2 to 0.33 on a retest, currently dumping out? Yeah, I can't really answer the questions that are specifically talking about single things. Like, what's really important is the hair analysis is read as a whole. It's like a story, you know. And the more you read these tests, the more you can look at it and you can see a story. And then you read people's general information sheets, and then you get a bigger picture. And then you ask a few questions, you get a bigger picture. So, you know, I can't answer questions like that without seeing the whole picture. I wish I could, you know, but it really, the hair analysis is really a story. You need to read it as a whole, and then I'd be like, oh, it looks like your NAK has moved because of this, and this, you know. So sorry, I can't really answer that question. What language would you like to learn if you could? The language of the soul. Apparently, souls have has a language. It's based on like ticks and clicks, and the Bushmen of the Kalahari can actually speak this language, you know. But probably I would learn Spanish. I did have an ex-girlfriend who was Mexican, and she was always trying to get me to speak Spanish. I didn't do a good job at it. I kind of wish I did better now, because I tried moving to Mexico and I had a difficult time. So yeah, I would probably learn Spanish, and it's a big language to learn. I don't really know why I'm answering that question though, but there you go. Can sweating a lot in the sauna deplete sodium, or does it get wasted more by stressful living / situation? Well, when your sodium potassium's low, generally, well, that's a sign that you're in burnout. You can actually lower sodium potassium if you're doing too many enemas and doing too much sauna. It's important when you're doing a sauna to take some kelp. You take a couple of tablets, a couple of capsules of kelp before the sauna. Some people actually do a kelp enema after the sauna. So they'd like you take some capsules, put in the enema after, because you got to replenish the minerals. You do release minerals when you're doing the sauna, and there'll be some sodium, potassium in that as well. So also, yeah, there's been some studies that if you do too many enemas, it can lower them. But in general, it's usually because you've burnt yourself out too much. It's usually a sign of burnout. So rest more. But a lot of people, I don't think, have kelp before and after the sauna. So it's really important to do that. Don't drink salt water. Take some kelp capsules. What's your opinion on magnesium oil? Depends on the situation. You know, if you've got like a seized up leg, for example, you know, it might be. I was once detoxing something that coming out from my kneecap, and my knee just seized up. It was really, really painful actually. And I put a bit of magnesium oil on there. It was cool. You know, probably if you was in a situation and, you know, the hair analysis was showing good signs, then sometimes someone who's got really bad EMF sensitivity, you know, having a magnesium oil bath is really helpful. Sometimes helpful for the thyroid gland, you know, but again, it depends on the situation really. But I don't think it's a bad thing, magnesium oil. It needs to be used in certain situations. So yeah, I mean, if you chew your food more than 20 times and you're still coming through whole, then I don't understand how that works. Surely it's purified itself. But anyway, regardless, most people's digestion's really, really bad. I mean, one of the things that I never really got was bad, like digestive issues. In the beginning, my digestion was poor, and I was eating and things was coming through without any, you know, hole as well. So I understand that. I don't know if you've done, you know, go up to GB333. That could usually help. You know, if you're chewing your food for 20 minutes, doing coffee enemas, having 333 GB3, shining an infrared heat lamp on your abdomen while you're doing a coffee enema. You can't do any more than that, really. You know, so just do that and keep going. I'd be interested to hear more about OCD and its relationship to copper. Well, the thing is with copper, it causes so many different weird symptoms. Like, what you need to realize is that copper has a big effect on the brain. Copper is a very highly conductive metal, and the brain is an electrical organ. You know, so if you've got copper stuck in the brain, it's gonna be firing off weird things, like depending on where it is. If copper's really high, some people get bipolar, for example. Some people don't. Some people get schizophrenia. Some people don't. Some people get Tourette's. Some people don't. You know, visual snow, I believe, is to do with copper toxicity, and some people get OCD. You know, no one knows exactly like what copper does or where it is to do that. It's just too complex. If the brain is too complex to figure that out, I don't think anyone's going to figure that out really. But it's just the effect that it has on the brain. Generally, people who've got OCD as well have got high copper toxicity. Then generally they tend to be more spiritually oriented people. So it's easier for them to get obsessed with something. And it's just, you know, it's easy for you to get obsessed with something anyway if you're feeling sick. So, you know, for example, when I was ill, I once read something about eating apples, and I was so obsessed with, I mean, it's a form of OCD, I was so obsessed with, you know, eating loads of apples that it become like an OCD kind of obsession thing. You know, it kind of copper tends to heighten anything that you do. So I was obsessed, like you can even get obsessed with the program to a certain extent, like just too obsessed, just reading. I did that at one point. But like as zinc kind of comes into the situation and balances copper out, zinc's got this different effect, like that's just chilled and relaxed, and you see things from multiple perspectives all at once, but then you come to a decision. It's like a knowing. Copper is like a bit anxiety producing. You're like trying to, like, you're like anal about everything. The more zinc that you have, it's as if like your whole body just is full with this calm energy. So yeah, so that's basically my experience with it. It's just, copper is just this really anxiety producing thing that makes you like, oh, I need to be anal at this and this and this and this. You're quite narrow minded, but at the same time like buzzed out. And then you balance out zinc over a while, and things that you used to do over and over and over again, you're just like, I just can't be bothered to do that anymore. It's just a natural thing to be like, oh, just skip that. I can't be doing with it. It's just, but hard for me to really explain until you heal it yourself. Could binders help with healing reactions like before enemas? Most of the binders really are a bit toxic, or they'll remove like important minerals. There's so many of my clients that have come to me that have been on these binding chelation therapies, and the hair analysis is just they're the worst ones. They're really not well. They're really bad. It's like, you've been doing this binding therapy for how long? It's like, you're really toxic. It's not doing anything. So you've got to be careful about these things. If they worked, they would be part of the program. But things like bentonite clay, for example, is full of like aluminium. Chlorella is full of toxin, and it releases healthy minerals as well. And same with spirulina. So the best thing to do with a healing reaction is just to rest, drink plenty of water, do some more coffee enemas if it feels right, do a bit more sauna. But yeah, in general, stay away from binders. My friend who is not on a nutritional balancing program has done a lot of detoxing and coffee enemas. Recommends probiotic enema retentions. Is that a good idea? You've always got to be careful when people say some stuff. The amount of vegans and vegetarians, I'm not, outing them, but will try and tell me that, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then I'm like, well, let's see your hair analysis then. Look at the hair analysis, and they're not very healthy. They're not healthy. So you've got to be careful when people recommend you things, because it's not based on anything. It's just based on their own opinion, their own experience. You don't know where it's coming from, so it's something you can't really answer when someone says, or someone recommends a probiotic enema retention. Generally I would say probably not a good thing to do, because it's not been tested. We haven't tested it properly. We just haven't tested it. So, you can't recommend stuff that we haven't tested. Maybe I'd love to see this person's hair analysis. Maybe they got an amazing, hair analysis. Someone's speaking to me in Spanish. I ain't got a clue what that is. Let me see. I do miss the Spanish language. I can teach you Spanish. It's a very nice language. Thank you. Yeah, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, she only used to speak to me in Spanish when she was annoyed at me, which I found quite amusing. It's funny. I am 22 years old and have been following nutrition balancing program since February. My digestion improved a lot. Today I bought goat yogurt, something that Dr. Wilson now recommends. Good. What can help copper to release from the brain specifically? One of the best ways of releasing copper from the brain that not many people are aware of is doing the pushing down exercise. A lot of people think that copper is just a toxic metal. It's not. The body needs copper. It's like a vital metal for the body to have. It's not like mercury where the body doesn't have any need for it whatsoever. So one of the ways the body or the brain can use copper is it can use it to keep a quick mind going quick. It just goes quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And actually, if you do the pushing down exercise and stop the thinking, the brain will detoxify the copper because it's got no need for it. So that's probably one of the best ways of doing it, believe it or not. So add that into your protein, do more of that, and that will help. I'm just going to answer. So yeah, someone's binders. How come there's activated charcoal in the end of edges? Does it bind to minerals only, and not to the ingredients in the endomet? It's a very, very tiny amount. Again, similar to what I was saying before with the with the experiments. If you're just taking like pure activated charcoal, I mean, activated charcoal isn't too bad. I didn't mention activated charcoal specifically. I says there's a few of them that are quite bad: spirulina, chlorella, bentonite clay, zeolite. They're kind of the main ones, really. Activated charcoal is definitely not one of the worst ones at all. So again, I wouldn't worry about that. It's really tiny. I don't think activated charcoal removes healthy ones. It's more of the other ones that I recommended. I know someone close suffering with suicidal thoughts. Have you had any patients with these? I understand nutritional balancing can do wonders. Yeah, I did a video not long back on suicide. It's about 50 minutes long, an hour long. Check it out. Search for Deep Healing Space, suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts, I mean, nickel causes suicidal tendencies. Just low, like, adrenal output. Like, if you've got low hormones, if you've got low adrenal, low cortisol, low aldosterone, just low hormones, that can make you feel so bad you want to kill yourself. Slow oxidation, slow metabolism, that's a big one. Not a lot many people realise. If you've got an extremely slow metabolism, slow oxidation, you just feel really terrible, And then you've got other things like mercury, which is the second most potent poison for a human. Arsenic has just got this really dull feeling. So there can be so many combinations of things that can add on to create suicidal thoughts, and it's not a good thing, really. So is it a good idea to take activated charcoal before a coffee anyway? Alright, so okay, what people need to understand is that the nutritional balancing program, it's 40 years old, and Dr. Wilson has been testing this for 40 years. There's not many things he hasn't tested, and the program is really perfect as it is. Generally what we find is if people add things to the program or take things away, the program doesn't work out as well. Now, I know that you think, oh, he can't have tested everything. I can assure you now, he has tested so many things. So if you're adding anything to the program or taking something away, unless you've really discussed it with a practitioner, I would recommend against doing that as a practitioner. Mainly because it's not been thoroughly, it has been tested by Dr. Wilson, and if it's a new thing that Dr. Wilson hasn't tested, the fact that it hasn't been tested is probably an unwise decision, just because the program is so precise and it's been developed over 40 years, and we've found time and time again that if you add stuff or take stuff away, it doesn't work as well. I would just advise against it. How soon after someone starting nutritional balancing is it common to start dumping copper? I've seen people dumping copper on the first test. I've seen people having to wait for 2 years. It took me 1.5 years before my copper started rising up on the test. Again, it's a lot of factors involved, really. A lot of personality changes people have to make. You know, if people are stuck in like sympathetic dominance and they can't stop the thinking, it can really inhibit copper coming out the system, because the brain will just use copper to just to keep the mind active. So it's a difficult one really to answer, but yeah, it varies. Never really seen anyone go longer than 2 years, but it is difficult. You've got to do the programming pretty diligently for copper to start coming up on tests and stuff, you know. But even if copper comes up a little bit, that's a sign that it's coming out the system. You know, it doesn't have to be like off the charts, you know. Currently I'm on the program, but I've noticed that I have fat cravings. I feel more calm when I eat fat, but the problem is overeating. What happens if I do so? So generally, if you're a fast oxidizer, I don't know if you're a fast oxidizer or not, and you eat fat, it kind of calms it down, slows you down a little bit. So a lot of people that have got like low adrenal output can crave fat. You know, fat is kind of used by the body as an energy source. A lot of people's energy sources these days is like sugar and simple carbohydrates. That's not the right way for the body to get its energy. It's mainly really from fats, oils, proteins. So when a lot of people stop eating sugar, they used to get cravings for sugar. They stop eating sugar. The body all of a sudden is like, where's my sugar gone? After a while, it starts to figure out a new way of processing energy. Then you start getting cravings for things like fats and various proteins and oils and stuff. So it's not a bad thing. Again, if you're a fast oxidizer and you're eating fat, it's good. You know, so don't worry about it. It's good. It's definitely better to have fat cravings than sugar cravings. Generally, if you start having fat cravings, it means that the body has started to figure out a new way of processing energy, which is a good sign. It's always a good sign. What about suicidal thought coming from DPDR state? So, you know, if you're stuck in derealization, depersonalization, you haven't got any hope, then it's going to make you feel worse. You know, if you've got derealization, depersonalization, and you, for example, speak to someone like me, you're ringing me up and I'm going to chat to you for 20 minutes on the phone, that's going to make you feel better in general. If you're just feeling suicidal about the fact that you're stuck in DPDR, generally there's also other things as well, physical things. But you need some sort of hope. You know, you need some sort of drive to move you forward. You know, this is the thing. You know, if your friend's got derealization, depersonalization, not doing anything about it, they're just stewing in their own thoughts. You know, so if you're stuck in derealization, depersonalization, you need some hope to get out of it. It's not going to fix the problem, you know, but then you start doing the program and start doing all these different things that are going to improve suicidal tendencies. But that's really it. You know, they need to get in touch with someone who understands all this sort of stuff. You know, get them to call me up. I heard coffee enemas can ruin gut flora. Do you think it is true? Definitely not. If that were the case, the nutritional balancing program wouldn't work. If that was the case, the Gerson therapy, the most popular cancer therapy, natural cancer therapy on the planet, would not work. The coffee enema is only 1.5 cups of water. It's nothing. Not a lot. You know, if you're pumping up there 6 litres, like they do in colonics, then you could have a gut flora problem. You know, a lot of people do way too many enemas in a day. You know, 10. Some people turn around and say to me they did 10 enemas. You know, I'm not saying it's going to ruin your gut flora, but it's not a good thing to do. Again, just stick to the program. Look at your program design sheet. It says 1 enema per day, 1.5 cups of water. No way is it going to hurt gut flora. Again, if it did, the program, it just wouldn't work. You know, like I've done enemas for the past 7 years. Like I'm in good health compared to what I used to be like. Serious health issues. I was in a bad way, you know, to a point where I had to sleep in a cage like a dog for 8 months. Not good. Thank you, Lewis, for the video. I will watch it. What are your thoughts on taking sunflower lecithin? It's shown to increase bile production. I know it's not part of the program, but don't think it will hurt. Yeah, you need to be speaking to your practitioners about specific things like that. You know, I mean, I know it's not a very powerful supplement, and it's probably not going to harm you. But again, it's very individualized. You know, I can answer a lot of questions doing these live things, but when they're very, very specific for you, or a very specific like number on a hair analysis, I just can't answer that. And if I did, I'd be doing you an injustice, because I just wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be honouring the bigger picture. But yes, probably not going to be a harmful supplement to take. But again, there's no point in really adding anything or taking anything away from the program, apart from very specific cases, because we find it just doesn't work too well. What up, Lewis? Love you all. Love you too. How can I contact you for a hair analysis program? I'm in very bad state. Send me an email, lewis@deephealingspace.com. There's not many questions left to answer, so if you're watching this, now's the time, because I don't really tell people too much in advance of when I'm going to do these. It's quite kind of off the cuff. So if you've got anything you need to talk to me about. You remind me of Jesus. I don't know. Well, that's a great compliment, but Jesus is a very, 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 very enlightening man. You know, if I come anywhere close to Jesus in this lifetime, I'll be a happy guy. Can slow oxidizers eat avocados on a regular basis? Avocados are not part of the program, so I would say no to that. In general as well, it's full of fat. So, you know, even if you was following it not on the program, it's going to slow you down even more in general, so probably not a good thing to do. What do you think about concepts in traditional Chinese medicine like liver qi stagnation? I mean, I'm not a Chinese medicine expert, but you know, we work a lot with qi and prana, and you know, if you've got liver qi stagnation, then you want to be doing stuff that gets the qi in the liver to keep flowing through it. You know, things like enemas, things like maybe a liver flush would be useful for you. You know, pushing down exercise, castor oil packs on the liver. You know, so I love Chinese medicine. I love I love what they're all about. You know, nutritional balancing does take a lot of information from Chinese medicine. So there you go. Bitter foods stimulate liver detox, but coffee is really high in caffeine, as you know. How is caffeine not a problem, especially done in an enema? I'm not sure of the exact process of why it's not an issue. I just know that the caffeine, when it's done rectally, is processed by the body way different to what it is when you drink it. So I'm not too sure on the mechanics of that. I just know that that's the case. Like, there's definitely a lot of information out there explaining it in a far better way that I can explain it. But all I know is that when you drink caffeine, you know, when you drink it rather than up rectally, it's different. But I'm not a biologist, so I couldn't tell you the exact mechanics behind that. What do you think of Reiki healing? Reiki healing's not a bad form of healing. It's non-invasive, you know, but you got to make sure that Reiki healer knows what she or he's doing. Sometimes you got to be careful of healers, because they're not all what they make out to be. I know a lot of healers. Some of them are some people are actually my clients, and they're healers. So, you know, you've got to be careful when healers are touching you, because if they've got, like, their energy's not good, the vibration's not good, then that's going to cause problems. You know, so always be careful about that. Homeopathy, I've not delved into it too much, but it doesn't seem to work too well. I mean, I'm obviously going to be really biased towards nutritional balancing in general. So, but from what I've heard, I haven't heard raving reviews about homeopathy. So, Dr. Wilson's actually got an article on homeopathy. So yeah, it's quite a big article actually. So I'd probably go and read it yourself. But he talks about various things. His main problems, it's yin, 2 yin. The remedies are toxic, symptom based or remedy based. Coffee used extensively in development will antidote many homeopathic remedies. So yeah, check out that article. Good article. Have you got any books you recommend? Depends really. You know, this is a good book. The Bible. I know a lot of the guys on our WhatsApp group at the moment, they're reading Mutant Message from Down Under. It's quite a spiritual book. It makes you feel good. Probably, you know, the person that's asked this question, you probably like to read that book. It's about a woman traveling with an Aboriginal group of people, and they have certain abilities, certain telepathic abilities. It's really nice. It's just a really uplifting book. I'm reading a book at the moment by a guy called Arthur Haynes called A New Path, talking about how we've disconnected ourselves from nature. That's a really good book actually. It's like a 101 for getting back in touch with nature and your natural roots. Quite like that. A really cool book is a book by Raymond Moody called Life After Life. It talks about near-death experiences. I really like that book actually. It's cool. So check that out. Obviously, Dr. Wilson's book on hair analysis and nutritional balancing is an absolutely amazing book. I've never actually read it, but I don't know why it's not more popular. It's just the most astounding book I've ever read. Really cool, really good book. Check that one out. Also his book on sauna therapy. So there's many books really. It depends really what you're wanting to get out of books. I'll probably be more specific, be able to give you some better ideas. Lewis, do you have a video on making vegetables more palatable? Also, where do you get your root vegetables? Any specific store? If you like pressure cook vegetables, the thing is with vegetables is if you pressure cook vegetables with some salt, maybe a bit of ginger, maybe a bit of garlic, generally that tastes good. As long as you don't overcook it or undercook it, I don't know why people complain about it, because to me it tastes really, really nice. If you're steaming vegetables and you're steaming vegetables that just like celeriac, for example, it just tastes horrible for me when it's steamed. You've got to figure out what your palate likes. You know, Brussels sprouts to me aren't very nice steamed or pressure cooked. But you know, things like peas are super nice, carrots, onions, garlic, cauliflower, broccoli. It takes a bit of experimentation to figure out what you like and what you don't like and all that sort of stuff. I remember in the beginning when I first started, and I was steaming vegetables. Steaming was part of the program, not pressure cooking. I was making so many bad mistakes. I was like, oh man, I can't do this. It's so horrible and bland. You know, mixing some tahini can be nice. Bit of almond butter can be nice. You can use a little bit of herbs and spices now and again. Bit of curry powder, tarragon. You know, a little bit of spice here and there is not a problem. Cream if you're a fast oxidizer. Ghee. You know, mix things up a bit. To be fair, I get most of my food actually at the moment from Waitrose in England. They've just got a really good variety of organic foods. You know, I can get my tahini. I can get everything from that store. Blue corn chips, tahini, almond butter, organic eggs, sardines. You know, organic vegetables, organic meat. It's just a shop that I can go to and get everything. So, yeah. I don't understand how DPD all come from smoking drugs. And then we relate that to copper toxicity and malfunctioning liver. Well, if you're smoking drugs, you're smoking toxic things that are going to ruin your liver. You know, that's where the problem comes from. You know, if you're smoking drugs and again, you're going to like toxify the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland stops working, you know, toxify the brain. So that's how it works. You know, you get a toxic brain, toxic liver, toxic adrenal gland, toxic lungs, toxic everything. That's what happens. Is your family supportive of the program and your lifestyle changes? In the beginning, no. I mean, they didn't know what was going off. I didn't know what was going off. I was feeling more fatigued. I was feeling more tired, depressed. My family didn't know what was happening, blah, blah, blah. Now they're supportive. You know, they can see the difference in me. They can see I'm fine. They can see I'm giving to the world. I inspire people. So now they're supportive. Now they don't question anything, really. They ask me for advice. But in the beginning, they wasn't very supportive. Well, no, I lie. That's a lie to a certain extent, because they were supportive in me trying to just do what I was doing. You know, when I really sat them down and said, look, Mom, I've got this problem, she understood. Well, she didn't understand, but she listened, and she did support me in what I was trying to do. The unsupport came really when I was going through healing reactions or feeling super tired. It was an easy thing for them to say, oh, the program's not working, like, you need to change things. Could some of the energy healing stuff, like chakras, be demonic? Also the new age stuff? Well, it's not. It depends what you mean. Like, chakras are a thing in the body, you know. So chakra isn't an energy healing modality. So I don't understand how that question's been asked. Again, you've got to be careful on what energy healing it is and who's doing it. You know, you don't know who this person is. They might have a really bad aura. They might have they might have entities attached to them. You know, that's why Reiki is not a bad one, because it's not actual touch. It's like, yeah, it's on a different vibe. So again, it's all very specific. But of course, anything can be demonic. How often do you retest? Every 3 months, just like you should be doing. I get stomachache when eating almond butter. Would cashew butter be okay? No. If you get stomach while eating almond butter, don't eat any almond butter. Just start with a little bit. Don't have cashew butter, because that is not a good butter to eat. It's way too yin and sugary. Opinion on beef liver and eating liver overall. You got to realise that liver is the organ that removes toxins from the body. So if you're eating liver, you're eating an organ that deals with toxins, even if it's got the highest form, even if it's high in zinc. Generally, organic lamb's liver now and again is going to be all right, but the general premise is to stay away from it. Try to avoid mixing fat with carbs. I agree. Organ meats are not recommended. There you go. Alright, so we're pretty much out of questions. If anyone wants to fire any last ones, then feel free. Someone's just asked me, am I a vegan? Definitely not a vegan. No, we find veganism actually promotes copper toxicity. It promotes spaciness. It promotes kind of low nutrient levels. We find in what we do in nutritional balancing that we need to eat meat in general. You can do the program if you're a vegan or vegetarian, and you can get results, but in general it's going to take much slower than the ones that are eating meat. That's just a fact. There's no point in arguing with scientific studies. It's like this is direct experience. If you eat meat, you will heal quicker. What is the weirdest thing that happened to you while doing the pushing down exercise? Probably when my heart chakra opened up and I felt the whole room. I was doing the pushing down exercise and my heart chakra just went, and I could feel the walls of the room. That's probably the weirdest thing that happened to me. How do you wash your veggies? Generally just under the sink, really. Tap water is okay to wash your vegetables with. Sometimes I used to put them in a vegetable ozone machine. So you can buy these box ozone machines. You can wash your food under the sink. I live in England though. I live in the UK, and our tap water, especially where I live, isn't bad. It's probably one of the best in the world. So it depends on where you're coming from. You know, you want to be putting a water filter on your taps. Now, I've got a water filter on my tap, a carbon filter, so it's good. It's decent water. All right, I'm going to be getting off now. I'm going to answer these 2 last questions, and then I'm going to shoot. I follow the program every now and again, and sometimes I've a treat. It's not really a treat because it's harmful to the body. A treat would be a carrot juice. That's a treat. It does not have to be black and white, in my opinion. A liver won't screw up your program if you follow. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, purifying the body is the best thing you can do to the body. So my ideas of treats have changed a lot recently. Like a treat, what people class as a treat to me is like super toxic. I'm like, man, that's not a treat. A treat is a massage, or, you know, a good steak. That's a treat, in my opinion. You know, have two tablespoons of almond butter. Woo! Calm down. Big treat instead of 1. How do you clean your enema kit? Use a bit of hydrogen peroxide. Again, I've got a carbon filter tap water. A bit of hydrogen peroxide is cool. You can buy 35% hydrogen peroxide. It's really good at cleaning things out like that. All right, last question. A friend said she had an orgasm while doing the push down exercise. Is this possible? Yes, there is. You know, you bring in the energy of God. You bring in chi into the body. It can be a sexual type of energy, but not like sexual as we know it. Sexual in a much more loving, hearty, godly kind of way. So it wouldn't surprise me if this person had an orgasm. Weird last question. All right, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, if you've watched this and you're not on a program and you think you might want to be on one, just send me an email, lewis@deephealingspace.com. Tune in next time. I'm not gonna, again, probably trying to think of the best way you guys getting in touch. Sign up to our Facebook group. If you go to Facebook, Deep Healing Space, I shall put the links in there when I'm going to be online. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.